Algebra 1, Lesson 49, Multiplication of Polynomials. So to do this, we're just going to expand upon the distributive property. So we remember distributive property tells us we take A times B and then times C, right? Really quick example here. We've got a simple polynomial. We're going to use distributive property to multiply 4x times x squared. That's going to give me 4x cubed. I put the minus sign. And then I take 4x times negative 2. So I get negative 8x, right? And that's my answer. So that's distributive property, right? Now, we're going to figure out how to do this with polynomials, right? So I have to figure out how to use distributive property, but now I've got two terms instead of the one. Well, it's really simple. I just distribute each term. So I'm going to multiply 4x times 3x, 4x times negative 2. And then I'll multiply 5 times 3x, 5 times negative 2. So let's go ahead and work this out. 4x times 3x. 4 times 3 gives me 12. X times x gives me x squared. Now, 4x times negative 2, that gives me negative 8x. Then I have to do the same thing with plus 5. I take plus 5 times 3x plus 5 times negative 2. So plus 5 times 3x gives me positive 15x. Plus 5 times negative 2 gives me minus 10. Okay, so I'm done multiplying everything. Now I have to look at my answer and see if I can simplify it. I have like terms, so I can combine these. Negative 8 plus 15 gives me positive 7x. The negative 10 stays the same. The positive 12x squared stays the same. This is my final answer. Now it gets even harder. So now we've got, here we had binomial, binomial. Here we have binomial and trinomial. So same thing, we just take 3x, we're going to multiply by x squared, 2x, and 3. Okay? So distributive property just with three terms now. So 3x times x squared gives me 3x cubed. 3x times negative 2x gives me negative 6x squared. 3x times positive 3, positive 9x. Now let's go with negative 1. Negative 1 times x squared gives me, I'm going to do something a little bit different on this one. And this one helps me add like terms better. So what I'm going to do is all the top numbers I'll write on a top row. All these bottom numbers I'm going to write on a bottom row, but I'm going to stack them under the appropriate exponent. So when I get negative 1 times x squared, I get negative x squared. I'm going to go ahead and put that underneath the x squared part. Then negative 1 times negative 2x, that becomes positive 2x. So I'll go ahead and put that underneath the x term. Then negative 1 times 3 gives me negative 3. And I'll just put that on the end because I don't have any whole numbers yet. So what I can do here is I have lined up my like terms already, and I can add them. 3x cubed stays the same. Negative 6 plus negative 1 gives me negative 7. 9 and 2 gives me 11x, and then minus 3. And that is my final answer. And so that's multiplication of polynomials. We're just using distributive property, but with more than one term. If you have any questions, let me know on Moodle, and I will see you in class.